Chelsea dominated as Forest's woes deepened. Post-match report. At the City Ground, Nottingham Forest hosted Chelsea in a Premier League fixture that ultimately underscored the distinct trajectories of the two clubs. Chelsea won 3-0, with goals from Josh Achimpong, Pedro Neto, and Reece James. Key takeaways. Forest stretched their winless run under manager Ange Postecoglou to 8 matches across all competitions. Forest had shown promise first half, but collapsed after the interval following Chelsea's changes. Forest's vulnerability from set pieces and Chelsea's sharper execution made the difference. The result leaves Forest near the bottom of the table. 8 games. 1 win, 2 draws, 5 losses, 5 points. And Chelsea solidly in the upper tier with 14 points from 8 games. What happened in the match? First half, Forest hopeful but fragile. Forest came out playing direct to Taiwo Awoniyi, making 5 changes from their defeat at Newcastle. They created chances. Morgan Gibbs-White flashed wide. Awoniyi had an early chance that he misfired. Igor Jesus struck the bar and post. Yet Chelsea looked disjointed. As one Guardian piece points out, with the heat on Postecoglou, it was easy to overlook quite how poor Chelsea had been in the first half. Assumption to test. Forest's first half play showed they were turning a corner. Possibly true. They had moments, but the data, no goal, eventual collapse, suggests the underlying issues remained. A skeptic would argue they simply had the better of a hesitant Chelsea early. Not that they had truly improved structurally. Second half, Chelsea strike back. The pattern changed almost immediately after the break. In the 49th minute, Neto whipped in a cross on the left which Achimpong headed in. Just 3 minutes later, Neto again, this time shooting past the keeper after a free kick situation. Chelsea sealed in the 84th minute via Reece James, profiteering from a weak punch by Forest keeper Matt Sells from a corner. Forest substitute, Igor Jesus, had the bar and post strike 10 minutes after the hour, showing some resistance. But ultimately the 3 goals ended the contest. Logical gap. The narrative emphasizes Forest's set-piece weakness and Chelsea's sharper execution. That seems well supported. But another factor is how Chelsea's manager Enzo Maresca used his substitutions, noted as a triple substitution at halftime, to change momentum. So the match was not simply about Forest collapsing. It was also a tactical pivot by Chelsea. Implications. For Nottingham Forest, the dismissal of Postecoglou's tenure, or at least a heightened scrutiny, is now very real. The Guardian reports, it felt ominous for Postecoglou. His side slumped to defeat again. They still showed glimpses first half, but couldn't sustain them. The assumption that they'll turn things around soon may be optimistic unless structural fixes are made. Their set-piece defending remains a major issue, conceded twice from first-half restart/free kick and then from a corner. If a skeptic is watching, improving possession or chance creation won't matter if you continue conceding cheaply. For Chelsea, a solid away performance, turning a poor first half into strong second half, suggests Maresca is getting the group responding. The win moves them to 14 points from 8, a good position at this stage. They still showed moments of weakness first half, but their ability to change the game mid-match is a positive. A counterpoint. Would they have done as well if Forest had taken their early chances? So some luck and opponent inefficiency aided them. Broader perspective and alternative frames. One way to view this, Forest are in decline and Chelsea are stable. But an alternative, Chelsea took advantage of a vulnerable moment for Forest, new manager, inconsistent form, rather than being dominant in all aspects, framing. The result underscores the importance of game management and strategic substitutions at this level. The nature of the beast is that chances squandered early hurt later. Another angle, the psychological effect. Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis left the director's box 15 minutes into the second half when Chelsea went 2-0 up, which may signal diminished confidence at club hierarchy level. The match also highlights a gulf in depth. Chelsea could make changes and have them immediately effective. Forest substituted, but still lacked the follow-through. Final thoughts. The 3-0 win for Chelsea was convincing and timely, particularly in light of the pressure building at Forest. For Forest, the match may not simply represent another defeat. It may mark a turning point with accumulative issues, set-piece weakness, inability to close out good starts, managerial instability, become too much to ignore. For Chelsea, It's a confidence boost and proof of tactical adaptability. If I were to critique the coverage, the assumption that Forest looked promising first half could be overstated. Promise without payoff is still weakness. For Chelsea, the assumption that they dominated may overlook that they nearly allowed Forest to claw back in. My recommendation would be, Forest need to fix set pieces, strengthen mentality in the second half. Chelsea should ensure their first half lethargy doesn't cost more damaging.